And there were senior doctors who were calling me and saying, we're not able to diagnose the patient. And you used to define the root cause of that disease or that problem.
I had scored 30 or 40 marks out of 100, and in my boards I am above 90 in everything.
2 months to study for your NEET exam and you still cracked it.
Yeah.
So the secret was intuition process or the secret was inside you? So Dr. Falak Doshi, can you share your journey?
Yes, of course, I'll be delighted to share. So I did the intuition program when I was 15 years old, a teenager who nobody knows how to handle. So they put me in this course. And when I went to the course, I was really bad at academics, at handling myself, low confidence, and good at nothing. So I went to the course and I saw, oh my God, people are doing blindfolded activities. This looks interesting. So first day of the course, yes, we identify colors and cards, and I was like, yeah, happy, good. I thought, okay, one of the courses. But I practiced every day. So after 40 days of practice, whatever I was not, I started becoming that. So I started developing these abilities to, to know myself basically. I started bonding with myself. After that, my confidence definitely took a leap. And also I became good at academics, especially science and maths, which I was really bad at. And then my prelims, if you see my marks card, I had scored 30 or 40 marks out of 100. And in my boards, I am above 90 in everything. So that's what intuition process did to me.
To cut it short, can we split the story into your real life? And then suddenly you did this intuition process. It was the first intuition process that happened in Gujarat. Yeah. And all of a sudden you decided that I want to be a doctor from nowhere. And you had just 2 months to study for your NEET exam.
Yes.
And you still cracked it.
Yeah.
So the secret was intuition process or the secret was inside you?
So intuition is definitely inside me, and the secret was intuition. Because the practice that we do for 22 minutes relaxes us so much. We develop photographic memory, we become good with memory, we become good with everything. Our grasping power increases. So I didn't know that I can study so well. So after intuition, I knew how to study. So that was the most important thing.
So you go to school to study. So what do you do in intuition process?
In intuition process, you learn what is not taught at schools. How to handle your mind, how to be brilliant, at handling your own mind and your emotions.
So a person who is weak in maths gets a prize in maths Olympiad. Person who doesn't like science turns out to be a doctor like you. Mm-hmm. So there's hope in the world for all those children who hate maths and science and do not like to study, to do the intuition process of the art of living.
Yes.
And still have that hope to be where they are.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, what I'm trying to say is that you connect so much to yourself that you only don't know how much you can do. So much is there for you. The platform is given for you to just blossom. So I think you can make the impossible possible.
What is this platform? They teach you some voodoo stuff?
So have you heard of breath? Yeah. So breath is the only thing that goes with us from moment to moment. They teach us pranayamas, they teach us meditation, which was always a part of our ancient Indian culture. So they are taking us back to our roots.
So you are Gen Z, Gen Alpha, what is it?
I am Gen Z.
Gen Z, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Gen Zs find meditation boring. Do you think they will enjoy the Art of Living Intuition process course?
Of course, the course is a power pack of games and activities and meditation and breath and exploring yourself. And Gen Z definitely knows that meditation is the only solution.
So you mean you just close your eyes and you concentrate on probably a light or a pencil or maybe a shoe?
So meditation is not concentration. Concentration is the result of meditation. Meditation is just doing nothing and just being with yourself.
So that's teenagers, they do nothing. So that means they're focused and concentrated?
Focus and concentration is the byproduct of meditation. So when they learn to meditate, how to just let go, just be, they can deal with everything so easily.
So seeing you, thousands of teenagers have got inspired in your journey because you've become highly intuitive. You read minds, you read people, and you can just say what is going on in their mind, right? And today as a doctor, if the patient is sitting outside the chamber, you have already written the prescription inside. And I've seen it with my own eyes. How is that possible?
So, I believe that all the information is already there in the space. When you do intuition, when you listen to your inner voice, when you are quiet, you get to know what you're supposed to know. That's what intuition is, and it helps me with intuitive diagnosis. That even before a patient shows up, you already get an inner voice that what the patient is going through and maybe what is going to come up in future with the patient. So you guide that patient so intuitively, you are so relaxed as a doctor that the patient feels so comfortable and they feel so content that this doctor is going to heal me.
I remember when you were in first year, I used to get calls. Can you ask Falak this? Can you ask Falak that? And there were senior doctors who were calling me and saying, we're not able to diagnose the patient. What is it that is really wrong in the patient? And you used to define the root cause of that disease or that problem. And you used to give some very weird answers at times where I would feel that, how can this be a cure? And when I would say that to the patient who would call me, the answer was bang on. And they would come back to me after 2 weeks and say, hey, we did this and it worked. And we spent so much money on diagnosis and all that stuff, and it didn't work. And just a few Shri Shri Tattva medicines that you prescribed to them, they were so effective, those herbs, that intuitively you just gave to them and they got healed. So can you share some very interesting diagnostic story of how you've healed people with intuition?
Yes. So intuition, I believe, is, beyond logic. There is no logic, there is only magic. Yeah. So when I see a person or scan a person, I don't have to analyze or think. So one such instance was today itself when I was, talking to a patient just on the phone here and there. And I just said, there is a rash on your right hand. And he was like, what? How do you know that? We are not on a video call. I said, I know it. I can see it. And I know what the rash is. And I told the guy to apply a cream that I mentioned. And in 10 minutes, he called back and said, I'm good. I'm all healed. So, intuition has become a way of life. It's every day, every moment. You never know what magic will happen.
So it's a story of Sanjay sitting far away, knowing what's happening on the war field between Krishna and Arjuna. And Sanjay is able to recollect everything. The entire dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna he's able to say or see. So you close your eyes and there's a TV that starts inside you and you see everything. You just do an X-ray of people. It's scary.
It's not like an X-ray. See, when you type something in Google or AI, it gives an answer that it knows, right? So this is the inner AI, the absolute intelligence, not the artificial one. So absolute intelligence has no limits and we don't know what it is. It's unknown. So it's best to, know the unknown.
So you mean to say that intuition is coming from a space of unknown, but how do you know that your answer is right or wrong?
So if it is right, it was always intuition. If it was wrong, then it was never an intuition.
So can you explain the word intuition? Is sounding very difficult for me and for the audience to understand. Why intuition process? What is this inner voice, intuition? Can you develop it? The gut is always there inside me. Even when I was young, I remember I used to practice children's Kriya. And I used to know what is coming in the exam. I was a student who was always playing, and I would tell my friends, hey, you know what? This question is going to come in the exam tomorrow. And my friends will be like, how do you know? Like, I don't know, I just feel it. And in the exam hall, they would just keep looking at me like, how did you know this answer? I'm like, well, I just knew it. And they kept telling me, you don't study so much. How do you get marks? How come you're like an all-rounder in everything? So I think meditation led to this phase of my life too. But intuition has graduated and taken you to the sixth sense. So going beyond the five senses and perceiving beyond the five senses. Is that what is intuition in your definition as a student of Ayurveda and then graduating to be a doctor?
So, let me simplify it for you. In my words, it's you talking to yourself and you talking the right thing to yourself. See, answers we usually think are outside. We try to find them outside, but actually it's lost inside. When you tap into intuition, you talk the right thing to yourself and you guide yourself. What better than that? And you have faith in your own saying. So, my parents, I remember whenever I used to do some mishap in the house and they just used to tell me, you chant your mantra, we will ask you some questions. They used to ask me about me and note down the answers, and then later they used to show me and say, see, you have told this about yourself, now follow it. So my parents, my family, they all trusted so much that it developed that faith in me towards myself.
So you give the answer. How does this work? Like, can you explain? I ask you a question, and then you just say the answer, and then you say you forget the answer. How?
So whatever comes as a first thought after we do our practice, we say it as an answer, and we believe it, it's true. We believe it that that's intuition. And once we are out from that space, we are back, It's a zone where we go into.
So like I lose this, and I ask you, where is my silver bracelet? And then you close your eyes and you can see it where it is. And you say, okay, that cupboard, second floor, put your hand there, and you find it. And there are many instances where you've done this.
Yes.
You've helped people find their lost jewelry or their lost things. So how does it really work for you?
So basically there are many instances that have happened, and when we talk about lost things, it is lost for you when you're trying to find it outside, the answer. Yeah, but when you find it inside, it gives you the answer where it is lost. And it is so accurate and specific. Even I get surprised at how it can be so accurate, right? So one of the instances when a lady lost a lot of her jewelry and she called me all the ancestral jewelry. And I said, this is not the house. This is not the right house you're searching. It's in some other house. She was like, I have only one house. I said, you check with your friend. You have kept it there and forgot, and she doesn't know. She called and she said, please check in your locker if there is another box. And that same box was found in the other house, in the friend's house. She thought, she never would have imagined that it's not in her house and it's just lying in somebody's house. So that's how it works. There is no logic, there is no analysis. If there was logic, I would have told, oh, it's somewhere in your house, right? Out of the blue, how that exact thing, that how when it is lost comes to you, I think that gives us so much clarity.
So it comes as a thought. The first thought is intuition.
Yes.
And you have trained your mind to say the first thought. So I'm bombarded with so many thoughts, and I don't know which is my first thought because I'm so cluttered in my mind, or I'm so lost in the situations that are happening outside me. So you focus on the first thought, that's right?
Yes.
And then you just say it. So it's not something voodoo that something happens in your brain and your brain cells are different. And
There is no voodoo. It is only you do. And you do your own thing. That's what is intuition.
That's interesting. How did you manage to practice intuition as a Gen Z? You said you liked the program. So you said there are games, it's fun, and they make it very interesting. And meditation per se is not meditation. You really enjoy the processes and the yoga nidra.
Yes.
So how does it help you cope up in your studies? Because in medicine, you don't have time to study. And you graduated into practicing intuition process every day. Right before the exam, you were so relaxed that I had to one day tell you that, hey, you have an exam tomorrow. And you're like, yeah, I know, I've studied, I remember it. And I remember I said, okay, tell me what is in page number 87, and you were able to recall that shloka. Because Ayurveda is all about like zillions of shlokas, and it's all in poetry form. You would just listen to it once and recite it. So did your memory also improve with that?
Memory definitely improved, and whatever I needed at whatever time in my college life, it just happened to me. So, one such instance I would like to share where we had an exam and it was a final paper and we were, anyways, everybody was so anxious. I was very relaxed, calm, cool. And my friend was learning something just next to me in the book. And I just happened to have a look, like have a glance. I just saw it once and I said, okay. Went inside, and that was the first question in the question paper. And that was the only time when I had seen that answer. I recalled it like anything, wrote 4 pages out of that 1 page that I read, described it elaborately, and I scored such good marks in that subject.
So you just looked at it once?
Yes.
From the side?
Just even to have that thought, that have a glance at this paper, even that thought, moved mountains for me that day.
Wow, that can be a revolution in every student's life who's going to be a doctor, who's going to be a scientist, who's going to be an engineer tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because memory is so important in today's life.
So when I have grown up as a professional now, from being a kid or a teenager learning this course actually gave purpose to my life. I didn't know my purpose. It gave me the purpose of my entire life. If I had not done this program, I have no idea where I would have landed up. So I'm so grateful for this course that it just happened to, make my life. There is nothing more that I can share about.
So what motivated you to practice it every day? Because what happens is people like it, people do it, and then they drop out of it.
Yes, so when I was a teenager, even I used to think, oh, this is like 20 minutes, my God, from where will I get? Okay. So my parents and teachers made a rule that if you don't do your practice, you will not get food. They were so serious about this process. They used to value it so much. They made me value it. And I remember once I was at the airport and I had my teacher with me and she was like, if you don't practice, we are not boarding the plane. So I practiced right there on the airport and then we boarded the plane.
So you mean to say you can do it anywhere?
Not,
and anyhow?
Of course, not anywhere. Prayer room in the airport that I used. And you have to dedicate a proper place, time, space and value it and not miss it even a single day.
Interesting. Journey of meditation led you to be a doctor.
Yes.
It helped you make the right decision in life. It helped you be the best diagnostics that you can do. It helped you in that. And what about friends?
So, friends is a thing where you have to, just be yourself with, right? Friendship is something where you just be. But it is so important that which friends you select for yourself, the company that you choose to be with. The people you be with, that's how you become. So intuition really guided me to choose friends, whether this is right, this is wrong, this is my limitation, this is where I should stop, and this is how I should help my friend also grow. So really it helped me bond with people as well.
So do you have anything to share for people out there that how this world of intuition has helped you in your life and progression towards service? You always say that when I do more seva, when I do more service, I score better marks, or I just know the exam paper, or I just am able to diagnose people. So there is a secret behind your intuition.
Yeah.
Can you share that secret?
So, my rule from the day one with this course was how much I share, I'll get. It will always multiply. So from the very 40 days practice when it got over, I started sending people for this course. It's been a while now, I think 8 to 9 years, and I'm still doing the exact same thing every day. Every day I talk about this course, tell people, because it gives me so much joy that this should be a part of the education system. It is so much needed, and we are the warriors who are going to go out there and spread it across. We have worked with the blind kids, the deaf kids, and when we are with them, I feel so much, just attached to them. I feel so much joy seeing them read cards. One of the deaf schools, when I went and when I gave the card to that child, and it was a bird in the card, he was blindfolded, and he just did this action. That joy when he was doing it was something that moved me. I was like, this is the purpose of my life. So, I would say that intuition gave me a purpose to my life, and the purpose of my life became this course. It's only about spreading this course all across.
So parents out there need to understand that it is intuition that is adding value to a child's education.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, they may be going to tuitions, they might be going for extracurricular classes, extra classes, and still not getting marks. So meditation makes you expand your limits, gives you that space. So basically, the glass is full with water, and you cannot stuff it with information, right? So the glass has to be made empty first. So it's very important that tomorrow's generation realizes the importance of meditation. And I think if you start at the inception when you're 8 years old and you grow out to be a doctor or a scientist or a engineer tomorrow, robotics or AI, whatever you speak about, it's the inner calling that is most important. One needs to understand their inner voice so that that real transformation takes them where they want to be in real.
Yes.
Otherwise, at the point of exams, there is a regret that, oh, I should have studied or I should have done this. And then suddenly there's a memory loss during exams because of stress. And whatever I've studied is gone out of my memory. So that's where you require it the most. And if you give it to children from the inception, from maybe when you're 8 years old or you're 5 years old, so our program starts from 5 to 18. And if that is put into that system, or I would say programmed into that child's system, then that child can program himself to be wherever he wants to be in life. And that's where real education is heading towards. So the Art of Living is playing a very, very important role in guiding children in the best way possible for a better future and a better life ahead. Is that what happened with you?
Absolutely. You know, my parents understood this so well, that meditation has to be a part of our education. When I was 5, that's when I started with meditating with Sri Sri Sanskar Kendra. When I turned 8, I was put into the Art Excel program. And when I was 13, I did the Meda Yoga, the Yes program. So at every age in life, my parents introduced me into these programs, which helped shape so much of me right now. I'm so grateful. You know, when I was young, I used to always be that one different child who will do things differently. At my school, they used to just pick me up and say, oh, she's going to go on TV, like that. So that difference that I could feel, that others are, you know, stressed, they're going through something, but I'm at a better place inside. So that always relaxed me and gave me that confidence, oh, that when I grow up, I'll be something extraordinary.
So that extraordinary is what intuition process is giving people and the children of the world of tomorrow.
Yes.
And that's exactly what every doctor, every scientist, every person, every child on this planet needs to understand, that meditation is not just closing your eyes, but meditation is pulling the arrow towards yourself so that it can hit the target wherever they want to go or wherever it has to hit. And that's very interesting. So is there a message that you have for Gen Zs? Because your Gen Zs are like, come on, don't ask me to meditate. It's so boring. I don't like meditation. And I think it's for babas and I think it's for older people. It's not for me. How do you convince them?
So I would say you are outdated, you know. Today's Gen Z and my generation especially, I believe they have become very smart. Definitely we are lazy people, but lazy people are always smart people. And smart people do the smart things, they do smart work. So I have seen Gen Zs, their minds have changed. Like, it's not the same how it was before. They are coming towards yoga, they are coming towards meditation. Meditation has become the new fashion. So that's what was needed, and inner technology is something that everybody should tap into, especially the young people.
So now going offbeat, if you were to create a reel for Gen Zs on meditation, what music would you choose and what would you do?
What music I would choose for meditation?
Yeah.
Okay, so for all the chatter going in the mind, it would be, so you meet yourself, right, during meditation. So I would sing for myself, Tujhe dekha to ye jana sanam. So, you know, you get to know yourself. That's what meditation is all about.
Wow, that was really an interesting one. So the Gen Zs out there, meditate, it's cool, it's happening. And you said, what did you say? Pookie.
So yes, when you meditate, you become real pookies.
So Pookie, you said, is the like with that little band,
It's
little
the bow on your head, and it signifies that you are a cute person. You're a Pookie.
So hey, Pookies out there, meditate. It's fun and it's cool.
Super good.
Jai Gurudev.